We talked about division breaking up and all the possibilities with Seth Rollins. Well, unfortunately, when it comes to Seth Rollins,
you get nothing!
We'll also talk about AEW versus WWE drama. WWE missed a big opportunity. Bad news for Jacob Fatu, and CM Punk had to say it again. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Unfortunately, I've got some bad news. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Now, obviously, take everything with a grain of salt because we don't necessarily know what's real or not when it comes to wrestling rumors. Just a reminder. So we all saw division turning on Seth Rollins, one of the most shocking Monday Night Raw moments, and we talked about the possibilities, and obviously a lot of these possibilities are still possible, but when it comes to Seth Rollins, I wouldn't expect a return anytime soon. According to Wrestling Observer, Seth Rollins will probably miss out on a match next year at WrestleMania 42 if he has surgery to repair his shoulder injury. So this is how serious, possibly according to Meltzer, the injury is. So not only we're not getting CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, he's probably missing WrestleMania 42, which according to some rumors was supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. This is absolutely huge. I thought, okay, maybe he's gonna miss a month, 2 months, maybe he doesn't even have to vacate the championship. Maybe we just roll with Division versus CM Punk and LA Knight, all of these rivalries. It seems like WWE had to completely change the plans, which kinda makes sense why this breakup happened so early. WWE probably realized Division without Seth Rollins, just acting like Seth Rollins is still a thing of this, doesn't make sense if we're gonna have to act this way for like almost a year. This is how crazy the situation is, people. It seems like WrestleMania just happened and we're talking about the next WrestleMania. This is absolutely crazy, breaks my heart, and pisses me off. Why did you have to get injured? I blame you, Seth Rollins. I'm joking, this is some Marquez behavior. So people, what's next? Somebody has to hold that championship, so why don't we talk about the possibilities and what makes sense? I think the most logical scenario is CM Punk, somebody who was a World Heavyweight Champion before Seth Rollins for a whole 5 minutes, people. Holy shit. So, we give it to CM Punk. This way, everybody gets what they want. You know, people wanted to see CM Punk as a World Heavyweight Champion, so he is a champion. He can continue with this story. And Seth Rollins legitimately loses everything. He lost Paul Heyman. He lost Braun Breaker. He lost Bronson Reed, people. He lost Bronson Reed. And now he lost the World Championship to somebody he never wanted to become a World Heavyweight Champion, which is CM Punk. That was Seth's goal, that was his mission, that was his life purpose. That was the second biggest goal in Seth Rollins' life after raising his daughter, people, making sure CM Punk is never a world champion. So I think this is the most safe option, the option that nobody is going to be pissed about. And we could have some interesting storylines with CM Punk and Division, Braun Breaker, obviously LA Knight, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns. A lot of possibilities still. It's just unfortunate that Seth Rollins, the biggest talking point of all of this, is not gonna be involved for a very, very long time. Eventually, when he returns, I think the face turn is going to be that much easier. You know, WWE won't even have to do a big explanation. When you're out of action for such a long time, you just gotta take a chill pill, and that's exactly what Seth Rollins is going to do. But people, we could also go with Braun Breaker. I mean, that is obviously an obvious decision too. He, you know, held the championship already. It seems like that's the goal. He is the leader, kinda. The big thing about Division, he holds the championship. He replaces Seth Rollins. It possibly makes even more sense than CM Punk winning. But at the same time, isn't that a bit too early? I don't know. When I look at Braun Breaker with that championship, I feel like he's ready. I just hope that WWE will give more time for Braun Breaker on the microphone. Sure, Paul Heyman hyping him up, that makes sense. That was the whole shtick with Brock Lesnar, which is also another possibility. What if it's Brock Lesnar who holds the championship? Man, the internet is gonna go wild. I feel like CM Punk and Braun Breaker, though, are the two most obvious choices, and people you're going to see wrestling on television. But there's another scenario. What if they gave it to LA Knight, people? Okay, hear me out. Why not? At this point, why not? Everybody on Monday Night Raw is in the same riot. We're talking about like 10 people right here. If you give the championship to LA Knight, you give the fans what they want, you give LA Knight what he earned a long ass time ago, and in my opinion, people, it doesn't matter whether you're going to give this championship to CM Punk or LA Knight, it's the same thing, literally. It's literally the same thing. They're in the same rivalry. They're fighting for the same thing. Maybe you should give the fans what they want. Which leads us to Saturday night's main event, where CM Punk is going to face, well, he's not gonna face Seth Rollins. He was supposed to face Seth Rollins for the championship. I feel like the championship is probably going to be vacated. So what do? Maybe we should do a triple threat, fatal four-way. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about people like Jey Uso, maybe even Jimmy Uso, CM Punk, LA Knight, Braun Breaker, maybe even Bronson Reed. You know, people, Saturday night's main event could end up being one of the biggest WWE's events. By the way, do we have ads? I don't want to look at this shit, since it's not on NBC anymore. I believe we're not gonna get ads, right? But this is a very unfortunate situation, and sure, WWE could still create some magic, people, Wingario Leviosa into our screens. It's just that Seth Rollins is not gonna be a part of it for a very, very long time. People, Jacob Fatu is in a rivalry against Drew McIntyre. He's supposed to face Drew McIntyre on SmackDown. But according to Body Slam, Jacob suffered a non-wrestling related injury which can force him out of action possibly for several months. So this is absolutely huge and unfortunate. This guy was about to get another huge push in the WWE. I see a lot of future in this guy. Unfortunately, according to these rumors, take it with a grain of salt, people, he's gonna be out of action for quite a while, just like Seth Rollins, possibly a little bit shorter. So what do we do now? What's gonna happen with Drew McIntyre? So people, I think Drew McIntyre needs to be involved in the Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes storyline. I think we just kind of merge these storylines again. And let me do some fantasy booking. Can I do some fantasy booking? Can I turn on my universe mode? Can I do that? I want to see a story of Drew McIntyre manipulating Randy Orton into turning on Cody. He's not your friend, Randy. Randy, he's not your friend. Oh, Drew McIntyre, you kinda right. It just came to me that he's kinda stupid. That's right, Randy. He's stupid, Randy. Possibly a new friendship, right? This could lead to Randy Orton finally turning on Cody, winning the championship, and eventually it all falls apart. Drew McIntyre turns babyface and takes the championship from Randy Orton. This way we get everything we need, everything we want. Now, I'm just throwing ideas. You know, it doesn't have to happen exactly that. It's probably very basic and generic and shitty ass storytelling, but something along those lines, I wouldn't necessarily, you know, mind seeing it. This way I get what I want, and that is the most important thing. I see Randy Orton as a champion, I see Drew McIntyre as a champion. It's perfect. Let's talk about John Cena at Saturday night's main event, which is going to be John Cena's final match. Now, WWE missed a huge opportunity, which is rare. It's TKO we're talking about. It's almost as if they're burning money. What happened, Mr. TKO? Did you sleep good, Mr. TKO? Are you feeling fine? Are you ill? What happened, Mr. TKO? Are you alive? Because almost 60,000 people were queuing up for a ticket to John Cena's final match at Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. Today was only the pre-sale. 60,000 people wanted to watch John Cena's final match. They could have literally sold out a stadium. I think they could have sold out more than 60,000. This is absolutely wild, and I always felt like John Cena at Saturday night's main event. Like, look, people, maybe I'm just not used to the event yet, but Saturday night's main event to me still is like almost like a house show in a way. You know, it still doesn't feel as important as premium live events. I feel like in the case of John Cena, it should be a John Cena PLE, like a specific John Cena PLE. Call it like time is up or some shit like that. You can't see me. You can't see us. Hustle, loyalty, respect. Only on ESPN. They could have had a whole ass celebration with legends celebrating John Cena, all the video packages. It's really unfortunate. So I'm just shocked, people. I'm absolutely shocked. The WWE said no to money. TKO said no to money. I think this is a dream, right? I'm not actually recording this video. Let's talk about WWE versus AEW. So Andrade returned to AEW. WWE hit AEW with a cease and desist, claiming Andrade still has a non-compete clause. AEW thought he was free, and even people in WWE thought so, but apparently his contract says otherwise. So people, this is really, really petty. This screams TKO. So basically Andrade is in AEW, but is he really? Because WWE said, well, actually, no. WWE reportedly isn't paying him during the 90-day non-compete. There's also a clause in the newer WWE TKO contracts that can block someone from wrestling for up to a year if they breach terms, which is exactly what just happened right here. Probably not intentionally, I'm pretty sure, but maybe that's exactly what WWE are going to do. Release a guy and not allow him to wrestle and make money elsewhere. This is petty. And fortunately for Andrade, Tony Khan is a very good dude. I think so. I haven't talked to him. Apparently Andrade had no idea and he might even take it to court, which in my opinion, obviously morally, I feel like WWE are in the wrong right here. But if it was in the contracts, if it was written in paper, I don't believe you're gonna win that. Like, if it was an actual contract that said, if you're going to do this, this is gonna happen. I'm not a lawyer, far from it, people, but I don't see Andrade winning the case. And apparently AEW isn't upset. This is absolutely crazy, people. If it was like 3 months, who cares? AEW can just write it out, wait for it. If it's an entire year, that is kinda crazy. Man, I wish AEW and WWE had a better relationship. This is just fantasy booking universe mode shit. It would be fun if WWE could borrow Edge, you know, Edge versus Cena, one last match, shit like this. Especially for fans, right? Like, it's the same shit, it's wrestling, whether it's AEW, WWE, it doesn't matter to me, it's just wrestling. Unfortunately, it's a very cutthroat business. Finally, people, CM Punk had to say it again. We unfortunately have to have this conversation again. Do not turn up at airports. Do not show up at hotels. I cannot believe I have to say this. Do not follow people. You've repeatedly been politely told no. Respect it. You are not a fan. You are a stalker and will be treated as such. Respect the boundary. Stop harassing people. I think you can't disagree with this. He's just spitting facts. People are crazy. Let me give you my 2 cents on it. They're not working. They have all the right in the world to tell you to f off and go on with their day. Nothing! How do I put this, people? How do I put this, people? I know the reason a lot of these people are following wrestlers is because they could get an autograph and sell it on eBay. Well, that is a CM Punk promo. This is pretty obvious, you know, they're trying to find some unethical ways to make money, harass people, act like they're fans, and then, you know, sell a bunch of copies. I say f off. I'm trying to imagine myself in that situation, you know. Maybe I'm not a nice human being. I don't know. I'm trying to imagine myself in those shoes. I would get pissed off so easily, man. Like, it's kind of crazy some of these wrestlers are actually trying to be nice, and they shouldn't. They really shouldn't, in my opinion. And obviously, some people are not here for autographs, and I don't understand this, people. How do I put this shit? This obsession with celebrities acting like they're just human beings. They're just trying to do their job. They're pissing, shitting, having diarrhea, just like you and me. Just like you and me. They eat some spicy ass KFC. They have a burning ass. They're just human beings. They're just people who happen to be popular.
Sign my autograph, live! Live, sign my autograph!
Anyway, respect the boundaries. Don't be an asshole. We're living in an era where a degenerate like the Great One has to be the voice of reason. That is absolutely crazy. Thank you for watching, people. Appreciate your time, the Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.